But the paint you're using is acrylics.
It is
not
acrylic.
Not watercolor.
And acrylic is water-based.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I get a feel of
I've seen
color.
sunsets that look
Yeah,
like
almost
that,
did.
when you kind of look at the sun.
The
Skyline's
weather's been beautiful last couple of days.
See that now.
Beautiful day today.
Well, if it's cooler, I turn the heat up because we have a gas well that produces about 70 pounds at the head. It takes 6 ounces to run a house. So I heat our house, the little adjacent house, the studio free. They've drilled them back in the 30s.
Wow.
And it's still producing
It's a natural gas. Right?
natural gas. And about 2 weeks out of the year, it gets so cold, it starts pulling so much water, I have to blow the water off these tanks that I have. And the pressure drops. There's at the airport out here, a massive gas well. When they were drilling, they hit one that just blew up, and they had Red Adair come in and have to stuff it out to be able to cap it. So those big deposits work through the fractures in the limestone base and feeds our well. So this little well has been producing since 1930.
Are you the only house property that can use that, or are there others?
Well, when I bought the place, I went to the woman that we bought it from and bought her mineral rights. So I didn't have to. You can abandon well. You can use that law and get it. But I wanted to be fair, and it was like, hey, I'll buy it from you and get it squared. Okay, I've got a little water, and we're going to add some lines. So you can see the way that I approach this is very scientific.
And you're following all the rules.
Yes, but
That's
of
what
course.
I thought. Yeah.
But of course. So I shouldn't demonstrate this, because I should say, no, it took me 10 hours to do each one of these for you. So anyhow,
I will
that's,
Facebook it.
yeah. So here we go. This is just some inks that Zig Pre-D, if you remember Zig from teaching at the school, he passed away about, I don't know, sometime in the last year. And he was living back east. He moved back here, and we had this little, it's a tack room on the books, don't tell anyone, but it's a little guest house. And when we bought the property, the grandparents lived here. That is gonna be another masterpiece. So you can see how much time I spent on this.
Hey! We'll get you some chairs.
Hey, Jim.
2 moral parts.
My favorite administrator right there.
Right here.
The only one I liked. But we won't go into details. So anyway, I dug out all the stools that I had, and even I dusted some off, so if you're standing, you get 2 of these instead of 1. So anyway, that's how quickly that can happen. And so you can see I spent a lot of time on these for you.
Did you do it factory style? Just went right down the line and?
No, I
time?
did most of them in a couple days. You know, just they not a lot of time. So I will pick some of that up. Okay, so that's the process of that, and then of course that then dries, and as you can see on some of my work, I'll do ink detailing on it and that. So anyhow, we'll let that go. See if Debbie wants to change it.
Where's your kiln?
What's that?
Do you have a kiln?
There's a couple electric kilns. I had one great big, big cone 10 high fire kiln, and I finished it off when I bought the place, but I didn't use it that much, and so I just and since I switched to this is low fire clay, if you would take this clay and fire it into a big kiln at cone 10 high temperature, it would just melt and puddle. In fact, I was teaching a night class. No, I'm sorry. I was teaching an afternoon summer class, and there was a night class. Well, in that night class, someone had brought in some white colored earthenware, low fire clay. Well, we didn't allow that because you can't tell when it's wheel thrown or bisque fired what it is. Is that porcelain? Is it cone 10 high fire? And so we loaded the kiln, we fired it, and I opened it up, and this gal came in from the night class all excited to pick up her 25 pots. And I look in, it's just a river of melted clay, filling everyone's cup, everyone's bowl, ruined the whole thing.
Low fire firings with using wood, using the traditional Native American technique.
You can. I've done pit firing that way. I've done. I've got raku kilns out here that we do raku, where you melt the glaze and then bury it in leaves or sawdust, and you get these real beautiful iridescent, like some of these here on this table show that color. That oil slick that you see is from that process. Okay, what we're going to do, potters will throw what they call throw off the hump. And rather than center that big mass, I just center the top of it and open it up. And you learn by doing. There's a process by the position of my hand. I know not to go clear down to here. I wouldn't have a bottom to that cup I'm going to throw. And so just because I know that relationship of my hands, I can trust that. And of course the students, when they would come in, I would ask them to do this. I'm going to ask you guys to do it. Let's pray to the centering gods, okay? Close your hands like this. Now, everyone look at keep them closed. How many of you have your right index finger on top? How many have the left index finger on top? Okay, so there's always both ways. And now, take that and reverse it. Doesn't that feel awkward? So when I'm teaching students, I'm not teaching them a way or the way. I'm teaching, this is how you find your way. And so that body, your body knew this, how to clasp your hands. And you didn't have to think about it. That's your body doing that. And when you're throwing and learning and teaching, you need to address those kinds of things. So some people are going to be right-handed, some people are going to be left-handed. This wheel is reversible. Right now, it's going away from me on the right. And so if I naturally reach in here, this is natural for me. My left hand's inside, my right hand's outside. But if it's this way, I can't throw with clay coming at me, I'll gouge it. So I can reverse the wheel and go the other way. And of course, a kick wheel, you can kick it either way. And so your body will know a lot more than what your head does. So now I've opened this down, and I'll pull up as I'm holding down. This hand is holding the clay on center. This is keeping the clay from coming up, and I'm pulling up. So what am I doing? I'm pulling up and holding it down. That is compressing. If you look microscopically at clay particles, the little plates, and they're like this. And so by compressing it, I'm overlapping it. That's much stronger than this. And so I'm doing something here on purpose. And not a lot of teachers will teach that process because you can cheat and get by with it if you're good. But when you're learning, it's something that you need to look for. When I went to Perth, Western Australia, on an international teaching exchange for a year, didn't want to come back. The second week we were there, went down to the Indian Ocean, beach covered with sponges, and I brought back a whole box of them. And I thought, well, hey, that must happen all the time. And so later I found out, no, it was just an offshore storm that ripped the sponges off the sea bottom, and they all washed ashore. And that only happened one time, the second week we were there, or I would have brought a lot more of these. And so I brought a bunch. I gave some away, and this is one of the examples. I also brought back, in my advanced class, I'd get a box out, and I said, anyone want some of this? And it was the sheared lamb wool, and they had dingleberries. Now, not everyone knows what a dingleberry is, and especially my advanced class. And so I'd say, anyone want a dingleberry? And original, yeah. So I'd give out the thing. Then I explained, no, the dingleberry is the fecal matter that sticks in the hair on the rear end of that little guy. But I'm not going to do that to you. You're too nice. Maybe. Okay, so we've got this centered. I've got it open. I've got it compressed. And so now it's ready to go. And what I'm going to do, if I can work with my hands together as a unit, it's better than this way. And if I can put an arm down and stabilize it, I've got even more control. And what I want to do is I want to pinch in and I want to come up. But normally what your body wants to do is you want it to come together. Well, that would pinch the wall off and then you'd lose the piece. So you have to envision a plate of glass, 1/2 inch thick, that you're pulling your hands up on and you're leaving it a 1/2 inch all the way. And so that's the idea. I start at the bottom and I come up to just under the lip and I release that pressure slowly. If I have pressure on it and let go quickly, I leave it off center. So I would tell my students, look, when I'm hollering, screaming at you to stop, you do this. You go, yes, Ron, what was that? You do it slowly, or you lose the piece. So here we go. We've got it now, a basic cylinder. I can gather it in if I want to keep it upright. You want to throw to form, not trim to form. So I really want to pay attention to the thickness of that clay. Let's see.
What's in your hand?
That is one of those elephant ear sponges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a dingleberry.
Yeah, no dingleberries or that one. That's another bad joke. It's separate than this. So, again, the elephant ear sponges are really nice because they load water up and keep it. If your clay dries out while you're pulling, then you're going to stick that clay and then you'll lose it. Also, I'm watching if I do this and I come up way too fast, you see I've got an unwinding spiral. And what does that make? It makes those great slinkies that bend over and walk down the stairs. We don't want this to bend over, do we? If I go too slowly up the side, I make little concentric lines and those break apart. So what I want to do is lay one spiral line over the other, and I get this gorgeous, strong spiral. Now, the Dairy Queen Ice Cream Company invented that. You believe that? I don't know. So that, because it would spiral up, your kid would, on a hot day, take a bite at a 45-degree angle, and it's not going to fall on their wrist because of the strength of that spiral. By lapping one over the other, I have that spiral strength. So I'm thinking about that as I'm coming up. I can balance the upward speed against the rotational speed of the wheel. If you're a nervous and you play the drums at home, then you're going to zip up, so you want a faster speed. If you're really careful, then you're going to go too slow, so you slow your wheel down. And I get then what I have is this kind of spiral. And you can see it. And that's part, I'm building strength into this clay. I was at a workshop in New York, and I was demonstrating, and I would throw a basic cylinder, and then I took 8-pound hard brick and I put it right on top, and it just stayed there. And then I put another brick on top, and it just stayed there. This wet clay would do that, and I could do that with that. But there's another little secret on that one. I won't bother you with that bad joke. So I've got the spiral, I've got the strength, I've got this. Now I've got it set up, and I want to decide what is it that I want to do. And so what I'm going to do is get a throwing rubber, and I'm just going to smooth out that wall. I'm trying to keep the lip thick and bulbed and rounded, because that kind of rounded lip top, the glaze will stick on. If it's a rough, sharp edge, it's unpleasant to drink from, and the glaze slides off. And so I want to keep this nice and round, and so I'm paying a lot of attention to this top. Okay, now I'm going to do some lines around. And the nice thing about clay, it records its history. So you may like that just as it is, and the hardest thing an artist has to decide is when to stop. Kind of like that as it is. But no, I'm not going to stop. So I'm going to stretch this out. I'm just stretching from the inside and bulb shaping that out a little bit. And you can see it's starting to bend those lines a little bit. And so I'll do a little bit more. And there we got it. And of course, a nice big handle on that, you'd have a mug or whatever. Clay, pardon me, will shrink about 15%. From wet clay to bone dry, what we call bone dry clay, is about 7.5%. The other 0.5% happens when you put it in the electric kiln and bisque fire it up to about 1700 or 1800 degrees. So there you have it.
So if you were going to put a handle on that, Do you do it now, or do you let it dry a little bit, or is there?
Well, I want to flip it and trim the bottom and finish that in an hour or two. It will be firm enough to do that. And I pull the handle and I would then, join it. And you have to kind of match the wetness of the cup to the wetness of the handle, because if you have a cup that's already that's real wet, and you put a handle on it, and that cup dries, it's going to crack the handle. So everything has to orchestrate on that. So how to cut this off? Well, I'm going to press down a little bit into that, and I'm going to put some H2O in there, and then I'll get my cutoff wire. And when I run that cutoff wire under it, it also pulls a little bit of water on it, and so that lets that then release from that. Now, if I were ornery, I would throw that on the floor on purpose and teach my classes that it's just a process.